put your hands on me? Did you put your hands on me? Did you almost make me lose my fucking baby? Did you put your hands on me?
Can you break down for the people what the whole deal is between Big U and SKG?
Maybe about 3 months ago, SKG came to, actually with the Tasha K. She came to the Hunterside Clubhouse. She did an interview. And SKG used to work at K-Day.
Okay.
She worked there. And there was a program, I forget what it was called, I know it was geared towards the kids of the community. It's like a $250,000 program. She had worked hard to put this together. As you know, Big U has developing options. SKG from Rolling 60s, Big U from Rolling 60s. So Big U is saying send the whole $250,000 to developing options. SKG thought is send all that to you, it ain't gonna get to the kids. So she doesn't submit. Long story short, per SKG story, SKG's dress coming from the situation, she's at the table, the hotel, requesting something for a room, and he walked up and started antagonizing her. This woman's traumatized. You understand what I'm saying? So she reacts. By this time, my phone's called. So I'm on Clubhouse, so we live streaming it while it's happening in real time, right? Again, SKG, when she went through as a woman, because she from where she from, she didn't call the police. She stayed quiet, didn't say nothing about it. First thing Big U says is, not knowing that the live stream is going on, can you call the police? Can you call the police? SKG responds, call the police then. See, you can't flip it to SKG said call the police because we heard you and we saw you. First I let them hear it, and then I waited a day and let them see it. Look to the people and say, can you call the police? And SKG responds, call them then. Big U called the police, waited for the police to get there. He wasn't staying in a hotel, filed the report on this lady, and watched her go to jail, and then did a video. You can go to the Whack 100 Instagram, the reels is pinned up top. Did an interview, then said, if you want me to drop the charges, come to the hood then, bitch.
The charges? Nah, bitch, if you want to get the charges dropped, come to the hood and get that.
Y'all hear him?
Come to the hood and get that.
I can't take this shit no fucking more. I almost lost my fucking life because of this nigga Big U. You guys are so fucked up towards women in this industry, bro. Like, y'all have no idea what I've been through.
10-4, I just wanted to know if you should be put back 76 to Command Circle.
As a lot of you guys seen the incident with me and Big U at the hotel, that was a very traumatic experience for me because I had initially just came off of doing a Tasha K interview, telling my story about how Big U jumped on me, held me in a spot against my will. He jumped on me while I was pregnant. Basically, he did that because I wasn't allowing him to extort, bully, and threaten me.
The charges? Nah, bitch, if you want to get the charges dropped, come to the hood and get that.
Y'all hear him?
Come to the hood and get that.
My family is a generational family from the Rolling 60 Crips in Los Angeles, California. My grandparents came from the South and the East Coast. because they had to flee because my grandfather was on the run, and they landed in Los Angeles when my mother was a small child. Before my family moved over there, my grandmother moved to a place off of Adams, and they were known back in the days, the Hoover family, who later turned brain gang. After that, my grandmother moved over to the rolling 60s, and that's where our family started from in regards to being associated with the gang. Growing up, you know, I always say that nobody ever protected me. As a kid, they let me see too much. And that's why I always say it's important to protect and guard your children. Never let your children intermingle in adult conversations. Never let your children see, you know, toxic or dysfunctional things that's going on in the household. I always seen that because it was always around me just because of the environment out there that he's in. My mom was on drugs, and I watched my mom when I was younger get high a lot. So she would go to the rolling 60s and go buy her crack and stuff off buying her. And so one time I remember I was with my mom, and she had got an apartment behind the laundromat in the 60s, like off of Crenshaw in Slauson, or it was like Crenshaw and I want to say Chicken Wreck or something like that. And we were walking to the crack house, you know, because she needed her hit. And so I remember we got there, and I remember this lady was there with her daughter, and she sold her daughter in front of me. I can remember just watching my mom light her pipe, watching her high come up. And when you're a little kid and you're by yourself, and this is the adult that's supposed to protect you, it is very traumatizing. So I had to kind of stay there with her and watch her high go up, and then I had to watch it come down. So all of this was within the neighborhood. This is what I remember growing up, what I had to deal with. I remember them selling dope to my mom. You know, that was very hard for me because it made me angry from being a little girl to being older, just because I understood now we are in a toxic environment. So I realized, being a young girl, I was being raised up in an animalistic environment that was coined the Black community. But the Black community I was in was so toxic. And when you put a child in that type of environment, that child is just going to end up conforming. And I think that's what happened to me over the years. I just had to conform. My father was always in prison, so I really didn't have a good relationship like that with my father. It was just kind of like, if I see him, I see him. And then once he got out of prison, he got addicted to crack. So then he was on crack really, really bad. And by that time, I was older. So I got to really see it from a different standpoint than my mom, because I was older, and certain things I just didn't like and I couldn't stand, and I was able to be more vocal about it. I can remember I was selling candy with my uncles, because my uncle on my father's side, my uncle-in-law ran a candy business. So he would have the white man, and he'll go pick up all of the kids around the neighborhood from Wise Compton, LA, go to the 99 cent store, buy some candy, have us on the corner selling it for $5. Even my hustle today, I credit that to being a young girl selling candy and just being out there learning how to do things like that. But long story short, this particular time, I sold out. And I made a lot of money, and I used to have all my money, and I put it in my rubber band, and I was saving that money for something. And so I was at my grandmother's house on my dad's side, and he came in the room, and I was showing him my money, like, look, Daddy, this is what I made, this is what I made. And, you know, he was like, oh, that's good, baby, that's good. In the middle of the night, he came in and he was like, Daddy, need your money. And I'm like, I'm buying you something. I work, I'm gonna save my money. Long story short, he stole my money. So my brother is resting, but my brother was very influential in my life. He was a member of the over 60 Crips, they called them because my brother and my grandmother were the only two people who really took care of me, who really loved me, who really protected me to the best that they could, because my brother was in and out of jail. When he was in jail, it was basically me protecting myself. I wanted to do everything that my brother did. Everything. My brother was rapping, I wanted to rap. My brother was gangbanging, I wanted to be a gangbanger. I just wanted to be like my big brother because I loved him so much. When my brother went to jail, I started hanging out. By this time, my mother, she got her life back together. I went back home with my mom, but you know, we never really had a relationship or bond because we never bonded from a kid. She was on drugs, she didn't have time for me. And it was like, when I really got back with her, I just didn't feel the connection. Long story short, I went in the streets. So by this time I'm in the streets, I'm trying to be accepted. My brother in jail, so it ain't really too much he can do for me. So I started hanging with my peers that was out of the section that I grew up in, which is the over 60 Crips. I started hanging 6-0. I was going to juvenile hall. I did my juvie program, my camp program. I was in there trying to gangbang. And I always look back and I say, you know what? That was never me. It was just me trying to be something that I really wasn't. Me trying to follow the steps of my big brother because I loved him so much and I wanted to be just like him. But internally, that's not who I was. I'm not demonic. I'm not selfish. I don't have a black heart. I care about people. I don't want to backstab people. I don't want to be dirty to people. Everything that embodies a gangbanger, especially from Los Angeles, California, that's not who I am. I was just put in an environment because I didn't have a good home, a good upbringing. I didn't have love. I didn't have no one to nurture or support me. So I was outside of the home looking for things that can fill that void. And that is why I went out there and I went to be a part of something that I should have never even tried to be a part of or came or wanted to be from. But at that particular time, I was in a follower mindset and I wanted to be accepted. So at this time, I'm running with my friends. I have my own friends from 6-0. One of my best friends, Boy Blue Park, rest in peace. Me and him was really tight. When he died, I really made her bleed. And these are boys that I remember before they started gangbanging. These are people where it was like, I'm gonna get put on. No, I don't get put on. You want to get put on? We grew up with each other like that. And at that time, I just wanted to do whatever my friends were doing so I can fit in and I can be a part of something. Growing up, like I said, my family let me see so much. I can remember the BNG blast coming to shoot up my grandmother's house. And I can remember how scared I was as a kid. Nobody asked me how I feel. Nobody asked me, Hilly, sure you okay? It was just the norm. It was, this is what happens. Growing up in LA, this is what it is. Growing up in LA is gangs. Growing up in LA is this. I can remember when I went on my first drive-by. Thinking about it now, that wasn't even me. But I wanted to be a part of something. I wanted to fit in. So I wanted to do any and everything to fit in or to be accepted by these people. It was never one even talking to me because they have black hearts. And to be from a gang is to be a follower. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that was a situation when Big you know, about in making situation. It was like if you didn't agree with him, he would get mad. He wanted everyone to kiss his ass. And I broke away from that road as Nipsey got older. He started seeing that. And that's when Nipsey that that's a ground with this thing Nicki and Nipsey and Blacks. And I believe by that time his eyes started open, how my eyes opened previously. You know, so I feel like being a woman in this industry is very hard at some things. Yeah. I was very upset when I seen that video of being Kid Cassie. I actually put it on my page and did like a recap. I was so mad, and I'm like, a monster like that, people don't change for them. And to young girls that's in that situation or to prevent that situation, get a license to carry. Because if somebody put their hands on you, but if somebody is trying to harm you or harm your life, defend yourself. Defend yourself. I was in Vegas and I got a call first. So I got the call before it hit the blogs because, you know, I'm from that area. So I got a call that they had just shot at Nipsey. He got killed. When it hit the blogs, they could say he was dead. But the call I got said that he had died. It was devastating. I cried for days, you know, because I can just remember Nip being this young boy that was just determined, white t-shirt on, hair all over the place, coming up to the radio station. And I remember I used to say, you need to do your hair, okay? Don't be coming up to my job looking like this. You need to do your hair. And he'll just be smiling. And, you know, I just thought back of where he started and what he was able to accomplish on his own. How he was so big on ownership, just his ideas, you know, and it was just sad. It was so sad watching the video, watching him get shot, you know, and where he got shot at was the same place that I got jumped on at. So, you know, where he got, isn't that something? Where he got shot at was the same place that I got jumped on and beat on at. I was so mad at Nipsey for years. Years. We was on Twitter arguing. I cussed Nipsey ass out on Twitter. I cussed him out so bad. He went and met up with my brother, cussed him out. Because I felt that he set me up. And me and Nip was beefing for all those years. And we made up like a year and a half before he died. Understanding life, I'm happy that I was able to get that closure that we both were. I was happy that we was able to talk and hug, because I remember the young boy that came up to my radio station that nobody believed in, and he proved them all wrong. So just to see how it ended for him, it was heartbreaking. He always had a big heart. Their heart was so big, and that's why the city loved this, because he loved the city, and he didn't just love his section. He loved Bloods, Crips, Hispanics. He loved Hispanics. You understand what I'm saying? And he wanted to bring people together. But he still had guys that hated on him, no matter how much love he showed. Think about that. It doesn't matter who he showed the love to and how much love he showed and how much he gave. It was not enough because they couldn't be him. So because they couldn't be him, they didn't want him to be himself, so they took him. And women, we have the intuition. I used to tell my brother, that's not your friend. Women, mothers, aunts, grandmothers, sisters, we know. If we say it's not your friend, guess what? That's not your friend. You probably can't see it. That's not your friend. They are secretly jealous of you. They are jealous of your success. They are jealous of your achievements, your accomplishments. That's not your friend. His friends are the ones that's pushing his legacy now. Kabi, Keelan, I grew up with him. I know him since I was a kid, cousin since I was a kid. Those are his friends that genuinely loved him. I know what comes from over there is nothing but hate, jealousy, and envy. I did so good for myself, and I'm so proud of myself and the woman I am. And when I see certain people from over there, I just look and smile and thank God that he elevated in my life. Because I could have been a statistic right along with them, being hateful, being spiteful, being jealous, being envious. I don't have that in my heart. I want to see everybody win. Even if you ain't winning with me, win by yourself. I'm going to clap for you from afar. I'm not like that. And Nip was big on winning. He was big on his circle. He was big on his team. The thing about Nip was he was smart. See, they didn't like that. A person can't stand a black man that's educated. He was smart. On top of that, he knew what he wanted. He came back and bought the block. How many guys you know from Liz has really done that? He came and bought the block. The same block he hustled on was the same block he came and bought. Everybody, when they get some money, they always say they want to get back to the hood, right? But sometimes the hood can be your biggest downfall. I watched my grandmother bury her sons. I buried my friends. My mother buried my brother. I've seen so much death just in those sections to where people get comfortable with people dying at an alarming rate. It is sad when you are in a community and it is the norm for your peers to get killed every other day and you put them on a t-shirt or you want to a funeral every other day. That is animalistic behavior that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody's talking about it. It is a lot of undiagnosed men. A lot of undiagnosed black men running around being a part of gangs, doing treacherous shit to people that nobody wants to talk about. People want to talk about, okay, the police did this. Understand. But talk about all these black men killing other black men, breaking black mothers' hearts. Because I was a statistic to that. My grandmother was a statistic to that. My mother was a statistic to that. We can talk about that. You cannot talk about cleaning up the police killing black men when you guys are doing that at an alarming rate. You are taking out phenomenal leaders. So why would you want to build anything right there when your own people's gonna come and kill you and take it from you? Why would you want to build anything right there where they're gonna tear it down anyways? It doesn't mean you cannot uplift where you're from. You can do scholarships. It's all type of stuff you can do for the community. But if you know what the outcome is going to be, if you know it's vultures within that community, if you know it's jealous people within that community, let me ask you something. If the community was so strong how it's supposed to be, why isn't it hundreds of people from that community giving back? Because it is a lot of people that is capable of giving back. It is a lot of people that is capable of starting businesses over in that section. Why is it one person controlling that whole section? Think about it. Nick had it on lock. So if you want to open something up over there, ask yourself, what is the end result going to be? Is it going to be evenly yoked? Is it going to satisfy your spirit, or is it going to interrupt your spirit? What is the end result? That's what I would say. I want to thank you guys for sitting with me with the continued conversation about the topic with myself, Nipsey, and Big U. And make sure that you stay updated with me, and we'll be dropping part 2 soon. Thank you for tuning in.